Oh, are you ready to explore the connection of sleep, stress, and being a social and solitude being? If I was to summarize this talk, it would be with this phrase: follow any thread with love, you will soon find you're connected to everything else. And I'm hoping you're going to join me on this journey while I've followed my passion for sleep. I love it so much. I even dream about it. I love seeing people flourish, and I love seeing them thrive just by helping them sleep well. And we're going to see how it might be connected to everything else. But I'm going to begin with a question. Why sleep? I'm asked quite a lot. Why are you so passionate about sleep? Well, to quote Eric Rishlappen, if it doesn't serve an absolutely vital function, why would we lie there potentially vulnerable to the attack of teddy bears when we're so busy and struggling, with time in the day? There must be a valuable reason for that. And it helps us live, forgive, learn, and grow. So when we look at the planet Earth, every living being we've come across has a period we would call sleep, where it shuts itself off from the outside world to internally reorganize and revitalize and transform. It is profound for life. So much so that our DNAs are hardwired to help us sleep with their internal clocks. As well as that, every organelle in our body and every cell in our body, just touch your skin, billions of cells need to synchronize their body clocks with sleep so that they can metabolize, for example, food. When it comes in, it goes to the right place. And if you're metabolizing at the wrong time, then you increase the risk of diabetes. So sleep is profound for reducing risks of disease because it knocks onto our organs. So we'll look at your brain. Your brain, when you go to sleep, massively regenerates, so it flushes out dementia-causing chemicals. It has a deep immune clean, so it reduces the risk of cancers, strokes, and heart attacks. And also, it helps us forgive. We actually do our emotional processing and our learning. We consolidate our ideas. Putting this in every organ together, in every person, means it boosts our health and performance. Not only individually, but as a society, we become kinder and more effective. So to quote Shakespeare, it is the chief nourisher in life's feast. And this involves some geeky coordination of clocks and chemicals. Now, I'm not going to go into too much detail because Sarah Blakely is going to talk about those, but inside your body, you have body clocks. Inside your brain, you have brain clocks. And in your environment, it's synchronized with those. And that works with some of these chemicals that some of you may have come across. So cortisol, to generate energy and is known as our stress hormone, is great for us when it's at the right time. And that's counterbalanced by melatonin that's released in the night time. That's the starting gun for sleep. And in between, the longer we're awake, we produce adenosine, and that adenosine makes us feel sleepy. So there's a difference between head feeling sleepy and body feeling tired. And you need to coordinate those. But also you need to relate to your environment. And there's something exciting, say a tiger in your village or a friend you want to meet up with. You're going to get excited. So you need to release chemicals to do that. But the problem is, if your brain is wired when your body should be tired at night, that's when things like insomnia can come. And so you need to be able to turn off the on switch. And that's where GABA, that brain chemical that you've been practicing producing by pausing and breathing through your nose. And interestingly, I've run 4-week insomnia groups in my GP surgery, and I've found 30% of people who have had insomnia for over 10 years have actually improved their sleep on the first week of practicing pausing and breathing when they brush their teeth. 30%. So what you do in the day counts, and Sarah Blakely is going to teach you how to get your left right. 6 factors that you can fit timing well within your day to bring out your best. But enough of the geek there. I'm now going to go, why humble? So why do you call it humble sleep? Well, it's because it's so often overlooked, despite being really important. And so this is the scary slide. We know sleep disorders are hugely common. So insomnia, poor sleep, obstructive sleep apnea, and parasomnias. But the scary bit is poor sleeping. We estimate, WHO estimated 60 to 70% of people have poor sleeping without even realizing. Now, this has a massive impact on sickness. Now, the paradox is if you have insomnia, it's not life-shortening. It generates a lot of mental health conditions and impacts on your performance, but it's not as bad for you as poor sleeping or obstructive sleep apnea or those other conditions, which can increase your all-cause risk of mortality by 20%. There's no disease that's not made worse if you sleep badly, or potentially better if you sleep better. And that's why my wife gives me evening off to run these sleep groups. It's because I can't sign a prescription that's as good. But it's not only about health. If you just look at your performance, we know it massively boosts your performance to the order of, for each person, about £1,000 per year of accidents that need to happen, about mistaken emails or forgetting, having an argument with your family. It's so profound. So we know it's important. So why don't we prioritize our sleep? Well, it's because it's hard. People who are struggling with sleep are tired and they're not sure of things to do. It can also feel like opening a can of worms, and changing habits can be really tricky. But also trying harder, particularly with insomnia, can then release more of that orexin that then makes us more wired at night. So trying harder can be like a Chinese finger trap and make it worse. So that's where you need to think wise and take new techniques to improve your sleep. And this impacts on clinical care, for those we care for our wards, for our clinicians. But the good news is that simple treatments are feasible and safe. So much so that I've worked with a number of hospices to improve their sleep care. And looking at the stats here, you can see that a lot has changed. Our ancestors slept 9 hours and we sleep about 6.3 hours. Sarah, can I ask you, what can you see is different between those two pictures?
The person on the left is outside working hard. The person on the inside is inside. It's got a screen in front of their face. They've got a cup, which I'm only imagining is got caffeine. And yeah, they do different jobs. Yeah,
that's fantastic. Great gold star. So so there are lots of factors. There's caffeine, there's screens, there's being indoors, so the temperature, they're not getting to drop their temperature during the day, they're not getting natural light, they're not being physically active, and they're looking a bit stressed, and they're alone in solitude. We've actually summarized these into getting your left right. So there's 6 factors called light, exercise, food, temperature, soothing, and sleeping spaces. Then again, Sarah Blakely is going to take you through. But if you time them right, you can set those body clocks and improve not only your quantity of sleep, but your quality of sleep, your timing and perception. Because though you can be unconscious and asleep, if your quality is not as good, you're not getting the good stuff. I'm often asked, can we sleep better having given them all this news? And the total answer is yes. It's really simple. You just need to regard it's important. You just need to reset your body clocks, which we know about. You need to rewire your minds. And then we need to remedy the deeper issues. So we're going to talk a little bit about those. But well done. You've already regarded your importance because you're listening to this talk. So I'll just pause with that celebration moment. Well done. And ask you if there's anything that stood out to you, just to let it consolidate. Anything that stood out to you?
Well, just, I mean, I've had personal experience, but you can change it, and it's good to be reminded of that.
Yeah, there is hope in there. Thank you. We're going to go into the art, so transform the science into the art. And here we've got the G-lymph system clearing out dementia-causing chemicals, and it can definitely happen. So I'm just going to ask you in the audience something I ask frequently, and actually it's been enshrined in the Bristol Medical School curriculum that we ask it before how you a smoker. How are you sleeping? So are you amazing, full of bounce, or blurry-eyed? Or maybe you struggle to sleep, though you really want to, or maybe something disturbs your sleep. The good news is wherever you are, we can sleep better if we regard our sleep. So first thing is just prioritize it. But regard is a sneaky acronym for us to try and work out what sleep thing we can help you with. So if you're struggling with regular wake up and bedtimes or enough time in bed, you might have a sleep habit issue to do with timing and priming. But if you struggle getting to bed or staying asleep or feel anxious at night, you might have insomnia. If you feel unrefreshed in day, you might be struggling with something like obstructive sleep apnea. Or you might be encountering disruptors or drugs. So there's pain, pets, menopause, But there's also drugs that we prescribe that people prescribe for themselves too, thinking it will help them sleep better, but actually it's actually killing their ability to sleep while they're unconscious. So that's the paradox of it, and it's so sad. And then sometimes it's just odd stuff like restless legs or reaching out or doing funny things. And if it's the bottom three, it may be worth talking to us or talking to your GP. But the good news is, if you struggle, there's lots of support. So we can help you regard its importance. We can help you reset your body clocks and rewire your mind, and also link you to remedy deeper issues. And we make it really easy for the public, the schools and practitioners with downloadable resources. And also, we've got a free podcast that if you just go to Somerset Emotional Wellbeing, we've got 2 free podcasts on the foundations of sleep and 1 on improving insomnia. And if you go to our website, you can download free tools for the public that help you reset your body clock and track your sleep skills, so you keep those habits, as well as support about how to rewire your mind with links to free resources like apps that you can download. And also we talk about CBT for insomnia, which is a specialist skill that we offer, and that's how we pay our mortgages at Humble. But if you're a practitioner, we also have offered talks, and we've spoken at the Royal Society of Medicine, the Prescribing Lifestyle Medicine Conference, about this tool that makes it really simple for you to screen, score, sort and support people with fantastic resources that are totally free. That big thanks to Louise Berger, who helped me come together. So you've got tools that you can share really easily in your consultations. And so I'm hoping that empowers you as practitioners as well as you personally. And in terms of tools for schools, we like to start early. So we've got really practical ways where you can design your day to work with your body clocks. And that's what Sarah Blakely's going to do with you to get your lefts right. So lots of things covered there. I'll just pause for a breath and ask you what stood out for you. I mean, for me, it's just that there's lots of stuff that they can access, and it's all there if you can regard your sleep. And if you struggle, don't worry, you're not alone. We offer personalized support, and we also specialize in helping shift workers, but we also help surf stress and people socially connect. Now, this is important, and this is the stress and social connection. It's because poor sleep often reveals a deeper need. So I don't just like to fix the sleep. I like to know where this is coming from. So I help people learn from it. And people are actually grateful they've had insomnia. They actually say, I'm glad I had it, because I now learned that I can address my stress, that they aren't alone, and that below the surface, there were other issues that need to be addressed. And that it is tough out there. So health practitioners, for example, a recent BMA study said 68% of us are struggling with burnout and maybe feeling like this. But this is a bit like feeling trapped. So you're trapped between feeling burnt out when you work, but also yuck if you stop. So a bit like an addict, our dopamine circuitry has been miswired. And this is where Practitioner Health and Humble can help. Because you're not alone, we can help you rewire your brains and create calm. So you can rebalance the neuromodulators and create calm using simple strategies that we have found have worked really well. And we've actually worked with your geeky neurobiology, but also you, so you can tailor it to suit you. And we've actually published an article that you can download for free called Surfing Stress from the Royal College of Physicians. And it's unsurprising because we as doctors are wired differently. This on the left is somewhat a normal person in the public. But us, we're self-regulated. So when we see something difficult, we park our own needs, which most people would call intelligent kindness. But it can lead to affirmed self-neglecting and lead us to not notice these things. So we actually show you how to rewire so that it doesn't matter how busy you are, within 30 seconds, you can transform that stressed feeling by pausing and breathing into someone who is actually being quite heroic and taking time to focus. So suddenly this person doesn't look lost, but someone who's digging deep and focusing. And then the person they're looking after just isn't particularly nasty, they just struggle with sinusitis. And it then pays to have that social connection. So the sleep can be an indicator that we're missing those neurochemicals in balance, and that screens are impacting us, or that maybe there's something deeper. And that's where it's not just about managing the tough stuff, but about getting enough of the good stuff too. So this is where we specialized in developing resources, not just to do with sleep, but also to help you develop connection. So we've got free humble gatherings. Sarah Phillips here has got a LinkedIn group that she helps run. So if you just want to keep in touch with what we're doing, it's there. We've also got meditation mornings with Charlotte, and we've also got a talk I'm doing on channeling conflict. So you can connect really well, and that's with BG Pair. So a lot of stuff we've covered there, but this is all a bit theoretical. We're hoping after the break, it's your turn. And so I'll hand over to Sarah. I'll just pause there. If there are any questions, do share. Have you got any thoughts or questions for me? And if you're listening, please do get in touch via humble.info. And if you are feeling ready, I'll hand over to Sarah, who's going to talk about the next stage.